All right, Nick, down in South Bend, there's some big time moves going on, and we're going to get to those things here in just a second. But I think Notre Dame is on the come up. There's been a lot of big signings, a lot of a big noise around the program lately. But, Nick, we got to ask the Notre Dame fans, as all of these new recruits and transfers come into the school, you are losing some key players this season, and, not in a bad way. We just want to know, who are you going to miss the most this season? Who did you enjoy watching all of last season? Who are you going to, miss leaving out, possibly going to NFL, wherever they may be going for this next season? Let us know in the comments below. But Nick, we've got a big story on a new transfer coming to Notre Dame. So why don't you tell them about that?
Yeah, so obviously after Notre Dame got Hartman and the quarterback in the transfer portal from Wake Forest, it seemed like a big win in the offseason from the transfer, bringing guys in. But there's even more good news out of South Bend, like you alluded to. So this is according to Fighting Irish Wire. Former Ohio State defensive end Javante Jean-Baptiste, great name, who played parts of 5 seasons with the Buckeyes, announced his intention to transfer to Notre Dame for the 2023 season. Jean-Baptiste was a rotational defensive end for the Buckeyes this past season. He recorded 19 tackles, 4 sacks. That's pretty good for a rotational guy, and 4.5 tackles for loss. Notre Dame is in a desperate need for bodies for the defensive front after suffering significant losses this offseason. To your point, asking the fans what they missed. For example, All-American defensive end Isaiah Foskey, the program's all-time sack leader, is off to the NFL. So obviously getting a guy right here in a Jean-Baptiste, at very least a high-quality depth guy, more likely he's going to come in and be a starter for the Fighting Irish up front, I think is a big win for Notre Dame. Obviously, he was at Ohio State, so he's a top-flight kind of player, got a lot of good playing time, a lot of great coaching. Ohio State is known for their front four, how they train and develop those guys. I think this is a steal for Notre Dame, Mize. What do you think of this move?
Yeah, Nick, this guy, he's good. He was the second best graded pass rusher on Notre Dame this season. A team or on Ohio State this season. He's obviously going to Notre Dame, but Ohio State's known for developing top tier pass rushers, and they always have a guy leave and another guy pop up. You look at the Bosa's, you look at Chase Young. There's all these guys, all this talent right around there, Nick. And I think this is the next guy up. He would be the next guy to pop. One guy leaves, he was going to be the guy to pop up, but Notre Dame was able to steal him away. And last year, you could saw, in 2019, he only had 1.5 sacks. 2020, 1 sack. 2021, 1.5 sacks. This year, pops that production up a little bit. He got 4 sacks this year, got a forced fumble. I think he's on the come up, and I think in a defense that is going to highlight him like I believe Notre Dame will. I think that he could be a big time contributor. I don't think this is just a depth add. I think this is a guy who can come in to Notre Dame's program and really bring some heat in the pass rush department, Nick.
Well, not only that, in the pass rush department, for a guy who's played in big games and been in big environments, been to the playoff, right? I always love bringing in guys like transfer guys in college or free agents in the NFL who have played for championship caliber programs. Like, it's one of those things, you can get a talented guy, for example, Notre Dame. If you get a talented guy from Iowa State, not to pick on Iowa State or anything, but the reality is they're just a different level of competition and different level of pressure playing for Iowa State than it is for Ohio State, right? Where you always have the lights on. Everyone's always watching to see if what you're doing that Saturday. You're always on upset alert. Notre Dame has the exact same thing there. So bringing in a guy like Jean-Baptiste here that's from that same mold, that has that same experience, is really good. And don't undersell a little gamesmanship here from Notre Dame, because of course Notre Dame is playing Ohio State early this coming season. So could Jean-Baptiste have a little, hey, here's what the calls mean, here's what these signs mean? Not saying that could happen, not saying that will happen, but you never know. Every little advantage helps, trying to get a big win. So I think it's a great move, though, on the field for Notre Dame. And again, showing that they're using the transfer portal the right way, bringing in guys at critical positions with championship pedigree. Smart move by Freeman and this entire staff, and the program continues to look like it's running very well.